Hello, and welcome to my channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. This is a Stargazer reading for the sign of Capricorn. So the purpose of this reading is to take a look at what you can do to be more in alignment with that star that shines bright within you. All right, so we're going to use the Mystical Shaman Oracle, and so let's take a look. So the wound that you are needing to process and let go of, Capricorn, is that of feeling as if your creative, passionate energy has either suffered some sort of slight or some micro or macro aggression I'm picking up, and the effect that that had within your ability to value yourself and your ability to create and to manifest the types of things that you would like to see come into being. I'm also picking up like a connection with Mother Earth. This card is the Serpent card, and so it's like Mother Earth. I feel almost like a Gaia energy, and I'm seeing like this sense of that energy being fruitful and abundant, and providing the trees and the lakes and the animals and the plants, like all these things that provide us nourishment and a space in which to live. It's our this entire biodome that we're on, the inorganic and the organic, and how much that has been taken advantage of and kind of violated and used in a very taking energy that doesn't replace or seek to renew or keep things in balance. So this could be almost like your relationships perhaps that you have with others, where you feel that you're giving in a very fruitful, abundant way, but those gifts, those skills or abilities that you have are being taken advantage of. This could be in artistry. It could be in work situations. It could be in romantic situations. It could be in families. All right. And I feel as if you are feeling some sorrow about that. And because of that, that might actually be blocking you from wanting to be as creative and passionate as you could be, because of like this it's almost like a recoil. Okay, this serpent is coiled here, but it's almost like there's this recoil where you kind of spring back because there's some kind of danger or some kind of slight, and you're trying to pull yourself tight to prevent any further damage from taking place here. This could also be even connected with fertility, perhaps around having children. You might have struggled with that as well, with having children. All right. And my condolences to anyone that connects with, if they've experienced loss in that way as well. So the story here that I'm seeing that you can try to let go of in order to write a new story that's more closely in alignment with the energy that you want to move into, so that you can be your fullest self. You can shine as brightly and fully and be seen the way you would like to be seen. And I just want to add to that, just because you might feel like you're in darkness, sometimes those situations are the backdrop that you need to shine brightly. But for the purposes of this reading, what I'm referring to is your ability to align with that guiding light within you that has like an incarnation purpose, or like your destiny, or what it is that you want to fulfill, that would give you your highest passion and your sense of being right where you need to be, whatever that is for you. All right. But the story that you would need to take a look at trying to release is that of kind of observing things that are happening around you without taking action to really do anything about it. So it's almost like taking a sense of just trying to be peaceful, just trying to be okay, being still, not engaging, not saying anything, just kind of bearing it all, kind of just taking on a lot and trying to be peaceful. And with this energy, we said at the wound, it's like this abundant Mother Earth energy where you just kind of provide this life force energy and so on. You know, I pick up, it could be you being in the energy of being, you know, a nurturer and someone who provides nourishment and creativity and passion and fertility and abundance. And you're kind of like set up like a backdrop upon which all these things are built. But these things, you know, whether it be at a job or, you know, it's some type of project or relationship or family structures, you know, also we said this could be on a macro level, speaking to Mother Earth itself. You know, it's like whatever those are that are getting the benefits of that, it's not reciprocated and you're not being respected. It's almost like you're being treated as if you're supposed to do that and you're just supposed to take it and you're not supposed to speak up about it and you don't have a voice. You're not able to do anything but just continue to be as fertile and abundant as you can and give and give and give and give until there is nothing left. And it's like the expectation, well, that's your role. That's what you do. You're the source of all of these things. So therefore, you need to just keep providing. And my job is just to take, take, take. There could also be a sense that you are seeking out situations where subconsciously you know that it's going to be a taking situation, but because you are so used to this energy, you might even at some level be seeking that out because it kind of validates that sense of wanting to be needed and having a role and a purpose that, you know, you don't have to do much, but just do that. But you don't have to like engage or you don't have to say anything. It's like people need you and you don't have to take action towards anyone else. They all have to come to you, even if it's disrespectful, even if it's very, you know, kind of taking advantage of you or what it is that you do in that role. I'm picking up like when people are at jobs and they say that if you want job security, just make sure that you are the most needed person. You know, so some people will take on a lot of different roles and it makes them feel as if, you know, if I'm doing all these things, then no one will ever get rid of me. It's the same with relationships. So if I have this and I do that and so on, and I'm supporting all of this and nobody else can function without me, then I'll always have a place. But I feel like that's coming deeply from a place of not feeling like you have value other than what people can take from you. And that I feel is what is needing to drop so that you can be in that same space of being abundant and this source of creativity, because the card here is the serpent. This is Kundalini energy. And this is also like pure life force energy. And so if you have that, you know, it would just be a shame to be providing so much of that to everyone else and have nothing for yourself. Have nothing left at the end of the day except cups that you're pouring out, and there's nothing being refilled. You're just having to dig deep and give. And I'm picking up, like I said earlier, that it could even be that you're recoiling a bit to where every time this happens, you give a little bit less. Like you still put the effort in to give, but you're not as passionate as you were. And so it's slowly like killing that joy or slowly taking away from that sense of feeling fully immersed in the fullness of enjoying being a nurturer or enjoying being a provider of nourishment or enjoying your creative passions. It's kind of taking away from that because of this, okay? So the wisdom that you can acquire to help you more closely align with your star is to try to take action to seek out the healing that you need in order to try to patch up the holes. You know, I'm picking up like someone poking holes like on your energy field and just like draining. And you're trying to fill up as much as you can. Fill yourself up so that it can go directly to these people. And there's never enough for you. But This is basically saying that you need to take a look at what you need to do to bring harmony for yourself before you try to provide all of this for others. Because when you can do that, you can make sure that you are filled up to the brim with everything that you need. Then you can give out to others from what you have that's running over. So when your cup is running over, that's extra. Why let it just fall on the ground? Like, let somebody come lap it up if they want to, or put their little cup underneath and they can grab that. But we never want to just pour ourselves out and then have nothing there, because you start to have less and less and less. I feel like that puts you into like a lack-based energy, a lack-based mentality, and you're not able to give as much as you think that you are. And I'm also getting like, maybe, it's like as you do this and you give and you give and you give, like, I don't want to say the quality goes down, because, you never want to devalue a person and say like, what's the quality of what you can give from your essence and your soul and who you are and your life force energy? Because I just feel like that's very demeaning. And that happens a lot. Like, people give and give and give until they have like less and less to give, but they keep trying. And it's almost like the less you have, the harder you work to give and give, to try to make it valued by environments, people, and situations that never valued it in the first place. They just felt like, well, as long as you've got this and it's benefiting me, this is great. So just gimme, 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 gimme. But as you're giving, and it's not enough, people start to devalue you, or they start to not, even more so, just not want anything. And I feel like for you, that could be like the worst thing, is for someone to not need you. Or worse, to replace you and get somebody else to do the same thing that you found so much value and such a sense of purpose from doing. And it's not wrong to have a sense of purpose in providing and being there for others and doing that. But when you become a target for energies that just take, it becomes toxic. So doing this will allow you to bring harmony not only to yourself, but well-being to others. Because also at some level, I feel like even though we can view it as being very, very selfish when people take, and they just seem to benefit all the time, it's actually very harmful for them too. Because at some level, they know that they are wrong. They can pick up the imbalance of what's happening. Yes, there are some people who actually enjoy that imbalance, but at some level, they still know that it's wrong. And it sends a signal to them, if they're not able to regulate that for themselves and say, hey, just because somebody is offering all this stuff doesn't mean I should just take it. But if you're offering and you're making it available and you say, no, this is what I do, I'm supposed to do that, it's teaching them to continue in that energy, which actually puts them at odds with themselves as well. And so then it becomes like this cycle. And this card here is actually the medicine wheel. And it represents the cycle of life, the cycles of nature, the circular patterns. It's like you're feeding a cycle of just this taking energy that feels as if it should be able to have free access to the most abundant sources of energy, power, life, love, fertility, all these different things, and just take with reckless abandon because it's being provided and it's there. And it teaches that that's what it's supposed to do. It always works for me. And I've set my whole life up around this, or I've set my whole business up around this, or I've set my whole relationship up around this and how I relate to people. I only deal with people that will do this. And when this runs out, I move to another. It could actually be training people to continue in their narcissistic patterns, because they just, supply basically. It's acquiescing to being supply for people that don't truly see your value beyond what it provides in that moment, and recognizing when it's running out and needing to replace with new supply. Okay. This is saying that, it's important to do this now. And as hard as it might be to do so, you have to be willing to step into the midst of what all the things that this will bring up, because what I'm seeing is there might be like an initial sense of this recognition of everything that was given up and having to reckon with that, beyond like kind of putting a blinder on and not wanting to see the fullness of what you're truly giving up or what you're kind of sacrificing, and that wasn't reciprocated, and allowing yourself to see the fullness of yourself and all that you bring and all that you are and the value of yourself, and having to deal with that reality that like, wow, I have so much value, I have so much worth, I bring so much, I've been such this, and look at how that was treated, not just by others, but how I allowed that to be treated. And what this is saying is that, as difficult as that may be, and whichever way that you have to go about, like for some it might be therapy, for some it might be speaking with others, it could be, taking a sabbatical, or just, pulling back, or engaging in your health more, just whatever you do, allow yourself to take a step forward today so you can begin that journey, because it takes time. For some people it could be quick, for some it can take a long time. It just depends on you. But this is saying that the only thing that you can do that would be a detriment to you in moving forward is to not do it. All right. And so, possible destiny with this, in seeking to fully align with your star, is that you will allow yourself to reconnect more deeply with the womb. It actually says the womb of Mother Earth, which is interesting because we're talking about like this creative power energy and Mother Earth, this source of that. So I feel like this is like a healing and reconnecting with your source of creative power, and also allowing you to reconnect with this higher source that you were always very attached to, which is what drew people to you in the first place. But this gives you a second chance to kind of regroup and evaluate what you want to pour your energy into, what you want to nourish and give life to. Because keep in mind, like the flip side of this is you, with this energy, you have the power to create, and you also have the power to destroy. I'm not picking up that you wouldn't move that way, but you have the power to choose what you're going to feed into and what you're not going to feed into. And so that means that you can choose to not support and give life to, and create space for taking manipulative, conniving, aggressive energies that take advantage of your kindness, or perceive these very feminine qualities of nurturing, almost like this underbelly, like I'm seeing like the underbelly of the serpent. The fact that this energy like slides on his belly, this sense that it's vulnerable and just open to whatever, very receptive energy. You can choose to not receive from energies that are trying to create things that are not in alignment with the things that you feel are going to further multiply and create more abundance and create more passion and creativity. All right. And so this is saying that the way that you do this first is to sit with your own darkness and to recognize all the aspects within that are allowing you to connect with this, the beliefs that you have that tell you that it's okay for people like that to try to, for you to support them, the beliefs that you have that say that you have to give away the best parts of yourself, put all your energy into supporting those who cannot sustain themselves, but that are not also reciprocating back to you. They don't want to give back. Sitting with that will allow you to have a rebirth. It's like you're going back into the womb yourself. So everything that you've been giving out to others, you're basically now allowing yourself to receive from a higher source, not seeking that from another person. You've kind of served as almost like a surrogate to be that space that people come to get that, as opposed to them going back into the womb of Mother Earth themselves and doing that work and having to connect and do everything they have to do to break down the barriers that block them from that source on their own. This is you going back into that and then recognizing the importance of that connection. Perhaps also even recognizing how you may have inadvertently and not intentionally served as a blockage or hindrance to other people having to reconnect and do that work and have a breakdown or figure out how to figure stuff out on their own or connect with something that's bigger or higher than what they can take from their material reality. All right. And doing this will allow you to have a rebirth, and it gives you a chance to emerge from this womb wiser, full of creativity, and just overall with the wisdom to choose what you want to give life to and what you want to nurture, and the directions that you want to go into, and who you will and won't support in doing and the endeavors that they have if they're not in alignment with the values or ethics or morals or what you've learned by spending time in the womb of Mother Earth and reconnecting with yourself. Okay. All right. So Capricorn, that is what I have for your Stargazer reading. I hope that it was helpful for you. Thank you for joining me on this channel where we may be days, but we are not confused. And until the next video, bye-bye.